Hello everybody. Today I would like to discuss few important concepts about Karnataka second PUC mathematics state board examination. So scoring in mathematics is not a difficult task. You can easily score marks. So what you need to do is you need to go through the concepts and old question papers, and you need to analyze the skills. So first of all, I have prepared one passing package. So this passing package is not only for just scoring 35. So using this passing package, you can score 60 to at least 60 to 65 marks very easily. Okay. So let me discuss how you can score these marks very easily. So first of all, you need to go for part D. So in part D, you have 10 questions. So out of that 10 questions, you need to write 6 questions. So in that 6 questions, you can easily choose which are the questions. Means in relations and functions, you can go for finding the inverse and writing the inverse of that function. For example, you can consider a function f from R to R given by f of x is equals to 4x plus 3 is 1, 1 and on 2. So I've included many more questions, the possible questions, in my passing package. So let me show that passing package after this brief discussion. So f of x is equals to 4x plus 3. This problem can be very easily proved. This is a 5 marks problem. So you need to prove this function as 1, 1 and on 2. So how you can prove this function as 1, 1 means f of x1 is equals to f of x2. This should imply x1 is equals to x2. Here f of x1 is 4x1 plus 3 is equals to 4x2 plus 3. So you can cancel 3 and 3 on both sides and 4 and 4 on both sides to get x1 is equals to x2. You need to write the conclusion like for all x1 comma x2 belongs to R, f of x1 is equals to f of x2 implies x1 is equals to x2. A very easy proof for 1, 1. Similarly, you can prove this function as a onto function. So onto means you need to assume this function as y is equals to f of x. So y is equals to f of x implies y is equals to 4x plus 3. Okay. So now we need to find the value for x. That is, we shift that minus 3 onto left hand side, y minus 3 divided by 4 also into left hand side, then it will be x is equals to this. Now we need to write the conclusion like for all y belongs to R, there exists x belongs to R. Why this is R and R means this function is defined from R to R. That's why I'm using this from R to R, and is given by for all y belongs to R, there exists x belongs to R such that y is equals to f of x. Hence this function is onto. Since it is 1, 1 and onto, it's bijective. Since it is bijective, it is invertible. All this you need to write. Then f inverse is a function from, if f is a function from this R to this R, you need to interchange. Here no problem, if you interchange, then also it will be f inverse from R to R given by f inverse of y is equals to y minus 3 divided by 4. Otherwise you can write it as f inverse of x is equals to x minus 3 divided by 4. So very easy problem for 5 marks. So in the same manner, you may have the problems like f of x is equals to 4x square plus 12x plus 15, this particular problem. Okay, and even you may have consider f from R to R given by f of x is equals to 4x plus 3 is already solved problem. Then you may have f from R plus to 4 comma infinity, f of x is equals to x square plus 4 problem. Then you may have f from R plus 2 minus 5 comma infinity, f of x is equals to 9x square plus 6x minus 5. I can definitely say that if you read these 4 questions, definitely you will get 5 marks very easily. So after this question, I will be moving into next 5 mark question. So next 5 mark question will be on matrices and determinants. Matrices, only matrices. So in that matrices, you may have the problems of simple multiplication or addition, or a into b plus c is equals to ab plus ac, that kind of problems. I will solve that kind of problems later. So first of all, my intention is to say getting the marks in this 5-mark part is very easy, because you can guess the questions. You can easily guess, because in that relations and functions hardly you have 4 options. Therefore, I am saying very easily you can guess these questions. So after this matrices and determinants, I will go through these problems later. Okay, I will solve one of the problems. Then you can solve determinants problem. In determinant also you have one 5-mark problem, that's of solve the system, this kind of problem. Solve the system of equations by matrix method. 3x minus 2y plus 3z is equals to 8. 3 equations will be given, 3 unknowns will be there. You need to solve it using matrix method. So now we have 1, 2, 3 relations, functions, and then matrices, then determinants. And now, so many students will think differentiation is a difficult chapter, but in differentiation also we can guess that 5 marks part. So here I have mentioned very few 5-mark questions. So that is y is equals to sin inverse x. Show that 1 minus x square into d square y upon dx square minus x into dy by dx is equals to 0. So these kinds of problems also you can easily solve. Okay, so this problem I'm mentioning about this problem, and similarly you can have y is equals to cos inverse of x problem, y is equals to 3 cos log x, or this particular problems. Hardly you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I have one more, 6 problems. Out of these 6 questions, definitely there will be one question for 5 marks part. Already we have 4 questions. Then the 5th one will be on application of derivatives. In application of derivatives also you will have a very easy 5-mark question. That 5-mark question either maybe it's the length of a rectangle is decreasing, increasing, that kind of a problem. Otherwise you may have a ladder problem. So then a particle moves problem, and sand is pouring from a pipe at the rate of this problem. Or you may have a man height 2 meters walks at a uniform speed, and you have one more problem of sand is pouring from a pipe at the rate of that problem. Okay, then we have now five options for that 5-mark question. Next, 6th one, either you can go for integration. Again, many students will think integration is a very difficult chapter, but in that integration also, by utilizing a very short time, you can derive many equations. So that particular equations can be derivations. So derivations means, I'll show you. So you may have something like 1 divided by x square plus a square, or you may have 1 divided by x square minus a square. Like this, you have totally 9 important derivations. Out of that 9 derivations, one derivation will be asked for 5 marks. You can do this one also. And one more thing is, if you feel integration is a bit difficult, then you go for 3D derivations. There are totally 6 derivations. So that 6 derivations are, so here I have mentioned that 6 derivations. That is, you need to derive equation of line in 2 different forms, equation of a plane in 3 different forms. So for every line and plane you need to derive it in Cartesian as well as vector forms. So first of all you need to derive it in vector form. So that vector form is very simple. I will consider one problem, that is equation of a line passing through a point and parallel to a vector. That is, very easily you can draw the diagram like this: x, y, z. Passing through a point means you should have a line which is passing through a point a of x1, y1, z1, and it's parallel to some line B. The required line may be parallel to some vector B. So this is origin. Just you join this and give it as a position vector A. Then consider any arbitrary point P. Okay, this is arbitrary point P with coordinates x, y, z, and this is A. This position vector is A. This position vector will be R. So simply you need to write the description like let x, y, z be any coordinate plane and O be the origin. Let A be any point on the given line, P be arbitrary point on the given line with coordinate x, y, z, B be a vector which is parallel to the required line. This is brief description. So after this, since this AP is parallel to B, we can write it as AP, vector AP is equals to lambda B. This is a concept of vectors. So for diagram you have 1 marks. In scheme of evaluation for diagram you have 1 marks, and for writing AP is equals to lambda B you have 1 marks. Then AP is equals to OP minus OA. This is by the position vector concept. So OP will be R minus A. Why it is R means in the diagram itself I have mentioned OP is R and OA is A. Okay, therefore this is R minus A. Now I will substitute this. Suppose this is equation A, I will substitute this value in equation A. Then R minus A is equals to lambda B. Our intention is to find the value for R. Therefore R is equals to A plus lambda B. A very easy derivation. All the derivation in 3-dimensional geometry are very easy, just like this. But you need to derive the equation in Cartesian form also. So Cartesian form means here you have a vector R, here you have a vector A, you have a vector B. You need to replace this R. R is equals to, since R passes through x, y, z, we can write it as xi cap plus yj cap plus z k cap, and we can write vector A is equals to x1 I cap plus y1 j cap plus z1 k cap, and vector B. Let us consider vector B with the direction ratios A, B, C. Then it will be ai cap plus bj cap plus c k cap. So now by replacing all this we get xi cap in this equation. Xi cap plus yj cap plus z k cap is equals to, A means it will be x1 I cap plus y1 j cap plus z1 k cap plus lambda times B will be ai cap plus bj cap plus c k cap. If you add these two, then you will get x1 plus a lambda I cap plus y1 plus b lambda j cap plus z1 plus c lambda k cap. If you equate this x2, this x1 plus a lambda, you will get lambda is equals to x minus x1 by a. X minus x1 by a is equals to y minus y1 by b is equals to z minus z1 divided by c is equals to lambda. A very easy derivation which carries totally 5 marks. So out of that 5 marks, 1 marks is for diagram, and second marks for is writing this, third marks for this, and fourth mark is for getting this, and final mark will be this. Similarly, you have 5 more derivations. That derivations also can be carried out very easily. Then after this, already you have 6 plus 1, 7 options for writing 6 questions. One more thing, in probability, many students will think probability is also a very difficult chapter. So but in probability you have few easy questions. So what you need to do is, in that probability there will be some questions on binomial distribution. So binomial distribution means it will be according to the formula P of x is equals to R is equals to NCR into P raised to R into Q raised to N minus R. For writing this formula and substituting the correct values for N, P and R, you will get 2 marks in scheme of evaluation. You can take a chance on this. So it will be extra question. So if any of the earlier problem is wrong, then you can get at least 2 marks using this. Then also you can carry out the problem to get 5 marks. That part I will be explaining in the later cases. So first of all, my intention is to boost your confidence. So many students will feel mathematics is a very difficult, but scoring 60, 70, even 80 is not a difficult task. Even 35 is very easy. So as I said already, I have discussed 6 questions of 5 marks part, and definitely you can do this also. So if you have done these problems, then you will get 30 marks. Then after this, my intention is to go for 10 marks part. So in that 10 marks part, you have graphical solutions. Graphical solutions, I will explain these graphical solutions in my upcoming classes. You can easily solve that graphs, 6 marks and 4 marks. For 4 marks part, I will give you some problems like finding the value of k. So that particular problem is, so here we have that 4 marks part. So I have given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 problems. If you solve all these 5 problems, definitely you will get 4 marks. So already I have discussed for 40 marks. Scoring 40 marks is very easy. Next, even you can guess some 3 mark questions and some 2 mark questions. So I have mentioned all that questions here. Let us briefly discuss about it. So I have mentioned it as a passing package. So in that passing package, 1 mark question also you have some questions, but now I don't consider that 1 marks part. So if you want all these passing package PDFs, just send one message to this particular number that want PDF. Just send one message. That will be really helpful. I'm assured that out of 150 marks paper, definitely at least 65 to 70 marks will be from this passing package. Passing package means I have not set that passing package for 35. I've set that papers for 60 to 70 marks. So here 2 marks part, define binary operation. This is a commonly asked question, binary operation. So what you need to write is star is said to be a binary operation on a non-empty set A if for all A comma B belongs to A star B belongs to A. This is a simple definition you can write. So together with this, you can give some problems like show that it is associative and commutative. I'll take the solutions of these problems later, but now I'm explaining which are the important questions. And star is associative or not and commutative or not. Sometimes they may ask identity element also. Otherwise, you can guess some other questions for this 2 marks part. So that is some functions like modulus function, signum function, or f of x is equals to 1 plus x square will be given. You need to prove that function. You need to verify whether they are 1, 1 and on 2 or not. Okay. So this is according to that first 2 mark part. Then for 3 mark part, you have some questions like if R is a relation such that order pair x comma y such that x is less than or equals to y, or x minus y is an integer. So these kind of questions will be asked for 3 marks. There are 4 to 5 questions, 4 to 5 important questions, and you have one theorem that f from A to B and g from B to C are 1, 1. Show that GOF from A to C is also 1, 1 like this. And 5 mark part already I have discussed it. So what you can guess is I consider 5 plus 3, 8 marks from this chapter. So already we got 8. So let me mark this one as a 8. So now we have 8 plus 8 marks. Easily you can score because 5 marks from that particular 4 or 5 questions. Then either you can write a 2 mark question or a 3 mark question. But remember one thing, I'm only considering easy questions, and it's not difficult to score 11 marks in this relations and function also, but my intention is to get easy questions in the first round. Then in the next round I'll explain all that. Then you have a chapter inverse trigonometry. In this inverse trigonometry, you can easily score marks because 1 mark question always will be on write the domain and ranges of that 6 inverse trigonometric functions. You go through the book, and otherwise you y is equals to sin inverse x, cos inverse x, tan inverse, and sec inverse, cot inverse, cosec inverse. By head the domain and ranges of these functions. 99% of the cases they may ask principal branch or domain itself, and sometimes they may ask find the principal values of cot inverse of minus root 3 like this. So cot inverse of minus root 3 means here you need to remember sin inverse of minus x is minus sin inverse x, but cos inverse of minus x is pi minus cos inverse x. This kind of some results you need to remember. Or sometimes, this is very rare case, but sometimes they may ask write the set of values for which these functions 2 tan inverse x is equals to sin inverse of 2x divided by 1 plus x square, or like this. And here I have mentioned very few questions on this inverse trigonometry also. Therefore I only take and afterwards, according to scheme of evaluations, for 2 and 3 mark questions, it's very easy to score first marks or second marks. That I will be explaining later. I will take only 2 marks from this inverse trigonometry. So I will add +2 from inverse trigonometry, and I will be moving into matrices and determinants. So from the matrices chapter, 1 mark question is many times it will be define scalar matrix, unit matrix, diagonal matrix like this. Otherwise construct a 2 cross 2 matrix. Elements are given by elements will be mentioned, and I have mentioned very few questions for this 1 marks part, and you can guess 3 mark questions here. 3 mark questions may be sometimes on using elementary operations, find the inverse of the given matrix, or they may give 1 or 2 theorems. The 2 theorems I have mentioned here, that theorems. So I think you can score these marks. Then after this 5 mark question. 5 mark question also on matrix you can easily do. So I will explain how to do that 5 mark question very easily afterwards. And these are also the 5 mark questions on this matrix. So I will consider a 1 mark question you can answer, a 5 mark question you can answer, and for 3 mark question at least you can get 2 marks. So again I will add 8 on this chapter. Then after this determinants. In determinants also 1 mark question I have mentioned here. So if you solve these particular problems, definitely you can score 1 marks on this determinant. 2 mark question will be very easy. Always it will be on finding the area of a triangle, or some points will be given as k. You need to find the value for k. Otherwise you need to find the equation. Here I have given 3 stars. 3 star means definitely either of these problems will be asked in the examination. So 2 plus 1 3, and also you can find inverse x y z using inverse operation. So I will consider 5 plus 2 plus 1, 7 marks from this determinants. 7 marks. Then after this you have differentiation. So differentiation, 1 mark question, very few questions I have mentioned. 90% of the cases these questions itself may be asked, but I can't give 100% assurance that these questions will be asked. 2 marks part, sometimes it will be the questions like y plus sin y is equals to cos x, that is it will be on implicit functions. Sometimes they may give inverse trigonometric results to find the derivatives. But this question, verify Rolle's theorem. Rolle's theorem question will be definitely Rolle's theorem or mean value theorem. 99% of the cases Rolle's theorem or mean value theorem, either for 2 marks or 3 marks. If Rolle's theorem, then it will be for 2 marks. If mean value theorem, it will be for 3 marks. Then here I will only assure 2 marks from this. Then logarithmic differentiation. So now itself I will explain few scheme of evaluation. So if mean value theorem or Rolle's theorem is given in scheme of evaluation, simply for example for this particular function, this is x belongs to -4 to 2. If you write it as given function is a polynomial function, it is continuous in closed interval -4 to 2, and it is differentiable in open interval -4 to 2, you will get 1 marks. You don't need any differentiation. Simply you need to write it is continuous and differentiable. So afterwards, in mean value theorem, if you differentiate the given function, for example, if the same function is given x square plus 2x minus 8, then f dash of x is 2x plus 2, then second marks will be awarded. For finding the final point, only 1 marks. Therefore, you can easily score 2 marks in that 3 marks part, or 1 marks in Rolle's theorem. So 2 plus 2, only 2, I will consider only 2. And this problem will be fixed. 5 marks problem will be on second order derivatives. I have mentioned very few problems here. You can solve these problems, and if you can't get the solutions for this, even I can give the solutions. You just ask me the solution of this in my YouTube channel, or you just contact my mobile numbers. And so 5 plus 3, even 2, 5 plus 2, we have 7 plus 4. This 4 is fixed. Therefore, from differentiation, you can easily score. I'm not taking any difficult questions in the first round. I'm only taking easy questions. Therefore, 5 plus 4, 9, 9 plus 2, 11 marks. 11 marks in this part. And Now I'm moving into application of derivatives. In application of derivatives, there will not be any 1 mark question, but there will be 2 and 3 mark and 5 mark questions. 5 mark question already I have discussed 3 to 4 problems. And for 2 and 3 marks problems also, simply what you need to do is you need to differentiate the given function. For example, if find the points on the curve x square by 4 plus y square by 25 is equals to 0, simply you need to write y dash is equals to 2x by 4 plus 2y into y dash divided by 25 is equals to 0. For differentiating, you have 1 marks on every problem on application of derivative. Otherwise, sometimes it may be given like find the approximate change in the volume of a cube of side x meters. Then v is, for writing v is equals to x cube and delta v is equals to dv by dx into delta x, also you have 1 marks in the scheme of evaluations. So here you need to apply that scheme of evaluation to get 1 mark. I will only consider 1 marks from this part, and 5 marks is compulsory. Therefore, I will take plus 6 here. So after this, I'm moving into integrations. So integrations, many people will think integration is a very difficult chapter, but I will tell you how to score marks in integration. I will give very few questions here I have mentioned. Just to solve these problems, definitely you will able to score at least 10 marks, minimum 10 marks from these problems. So these are the problems on partial fractions. 90% of the papers contains partial fractions, so I will explain how to solve the partial fractions. And these derivations are compulsory. It's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 derivation, and the same problem on that derivation. So even after this you have definite integrals. So definite integral, 7 properties you have. You can easily prove that property. It will be in the 6 mark part, finally 6 mark part. So I only give this much of problems, and I will take only 5 from integration, only 5. You can score that from derivation also. I mentioned 2 derivations. If you do 2 derivations exactly correct, then 11 marks, but you only consider 5 because I'm only explaining how you can easily you score marks. Therefore, next it will be application of integration. Application of integration also you go through these problems. I don't consider any marks from application of integration. Directly I will be moving into differential equation. In differential equation, you can get 2 marks very easily using order and degree. But remember one thing, degree is not defined if dy by dx appears inside any composite, that is sine of dy by dx or e raised to y dash like this. But sin x may appear, then degree defines, but when that derivatives appears as a composite term, the degree does not define. Then even 5 marks part I have mentioned very few questions, and for 3 marks part also form the differential equation of family of curves. You can do this very easy problems. And 5 mark problem also in scheme of evaluation, if that given differential equation is not expressed in the form of dy by dx plus py is equals to q, simply by writing it in dy by dx plus py is equals to q and writing the values for p and q, you have 2 marks in scheme of evaluation. Very easily you can score these 2 marks. And for writing integrating factor, you have 1 more marks. So I only take 3 marks from this differential equations. Only 3 marks I am taking. Then we have vectors. In vector, 1 mark question basically is on definitions on vectors, or some vector will be given, you will be asked to find direction cosines like this. 2 marks and 3 mark questions fixed. I have given some 3-star questions. It will be on box product. Definitely almost 99% it will be on box product. 2 mark question, many times it will be x minus a dot x plus a, or it may be something like vector b is given, or find the area of the parallelogram, or find the area of the triangle. Definitely you can do all these problems. And remember one thing, in this vector you have 2 mark questions and 2 3 mark questions. So out of these, I think you can get 8 marks easily. You can easily score 8 marks. So I will refer 8 from vectors very easily, means I will only take 6 from vectors. Then 3D. Next chapter will be 3D. 3D already we know how to derive equations. And remember one thing, problems on 3D. Suppose if a question is asked on passing through a plane, passing through a point and perpendicular to a given vector, simply for writing vector r minus a dot n is equals to 0, you will get 1 marks. For 3D writing the formulas also, you have 1 marks. Therefore, you can write this. So 5 marks derivation is fixed, and 1 mark question I have mentioned very few. Therefore, I will take 6 out of 3D. 6 marks. Then you have LPP. So in LPP, definitely you can solve graph. Therefore, that 6 marks will be fixed. So you can easily score that 6. Therefore, and a derivation, a definition will be objective function, feasible solution, like this, 6. And for probability, I don't consider any marks because I am taking only easy questions. Therefore, calculate it: 8 plus 2, 10, 18, 25, 36, 42, 47, 50, 56, 62, 68 marks without taking any risk. I can say if you give 5 hours to me, 5 hours, definitely I will explain how to get these 68 marks. I will explain the problems also. Here I have mentioned the questions. You can go through these questions. If you can't go through the solutions, you can contact me, and I will explain few scheme of evaluations. So very interesting scheme of evaluations. You can get 10 marks without knowing anything. For example, here I will take that. So you see here, there will be some inverse trigonometric problems. In that inverse trigonometry, cos inverse of 1 minus x square divided by 1 plus x square, you know that the formula is for 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. Simply for substituting x is equals to tan theta, you have 1 marks. Definitely there will be one question like this. Therefore, first marks is very easy, 1 mark. And in this, finding the area of the triangle, if you write 1 by 2 into given points, x coordinates here, y coordinates here, 1, 1, 1 here, scheme of evaluation carries 1 marks. And if you have a logarithmic differentiation problem, suppose x raised to x, integrate x raised to x, we shall assume y is equals to this, log y is equals to log of, that is by applying log on both sides. Next, simply you need to write x, this x will be here by properties, x log x in scheme of evaluation, this contains 1 marks. And one more thing, using the elementary operation, finding the inverse in that matrix, for writing a is equals to I into a, you have 1 marks. You can easily substitute a, I and a also. Even if you don't substitute, simply for writing a is equals to I into a, you have 1 marks. Then for mean value theorem, writing continuous and differentiability of a polynomial function, 1 marks. And for differentiating the given function, you have 2nd marks. And as I said, in 3-dimensional geometry, simply for writing formula in 2 marks and 3 marks part, you have 1 marks. Then in vectors, you will have a problem such that show that 4 points will be coplanar. So 4 points will be given, A, B, C, D. You need to find vector A, B, A, C and AD. For finding this, 1 marks. Very easily you can find AB is OB minus OA. Then for writing that in the determinant, you have 2nd marks, equating, finding the determinant AB, AC and AD values. Determinant, you have 1 marks. Similarly, you have many schemes. In scheme of evaluations, we go through different concepts and we analyze how to get easy marks. These all are I have explained for easy marks. So if you want to get more easy marks or such scheme of evaluations, you can contact me. And one more thing, so I will giving the updates on this examination. It's never late. Now you have lots of time. 15 to 20 days means you have ample of time. You can use that time to score very good marks. So every day make a proper timetable, give at least 2 to 3 hours, and you can easily score 70 marks. And so afterwards I will explain how to score 100 out of 100 or average student who is in the range of 40 to 50, how that students can be upgraded to 75, 80, 85. So I have many tricks and these kinds of schemes. I will explain that throughout my classes. Okay, thank you.